Headlines, highlights, the questions burning up the sports world get answered right here. This isn't just another recap. It's the Sports Answer. And leading the charge, sharp, fearless, and always bringing the edge, your host, Rudy Campos Jr. If you're talking sports, you better have the Sports Answer.
Good morning, Answer Now TV followers and subscribers. What are you looking at? You're looking at the Sports Answer to all your sports questions. It's Rudy Campos Jr., joined by the Hall of Famer, UTSA Hall of Famer, soon to be ABA Hall of Famer, Derek Garvin, here in the Salem Surround Studios. Derek, we've got a bunch of sports answers, don't we? Do a bunch of sports questions?
Yes, bring it on. We're ready to go. But I have to say this quickly. I'm so glad to have this opportunity again with you and to be back on the air. And we're going to take it one day at a time. But, man, I'm loving where we're headed. It's
going to be a brilliant path. But I'll tell you what, Derek, we're going to get right into the headlines because why? They only have us for a half hour. And that's plenty of time to get going on all the sports headlines because 2 top 10 teams fell yesterday in college football. Penn State, UCLA. Wow. You're talking UCLA basically left for dead, and then Penn State rolls in to UCLA, takes the L, 42-37. The biggest question, James Franklin, as we can see on the wonderful world of X, is does he deserve to be fired? I mean, he can't win the big game, Derek. Let me run this by you real quick here. I'm going to run it by you because AP top 10, he is 4-21. The top 5, he's 1-15. Now you're talking about against top 25 ranked teams, a record of 12-25. When is enough, especially losing to an 0-4 UCLA Bruin team?
Well, for me, it makes me start questioning what is their end goal. I mean, we've seen this pitcher now several years in a row, right?
Yeah.
I think he's a good coach, but when you're talking about a team with 4-21 and 1-15, any other coaches would have already been gone.
Yeah.
So it just makes me question, what is the end game? Are they trying to win the national championship? And I've told you several times when we did our show before, I like Penn State, but I don't believe in Penn State. And we've seen it again. That was really they dropped the ball.
Yeah. It feels like, remember the Utah Jazz teams with Jerry Sloan? You knew they were a playoff team. Penn State's always going to be there towards the end. They're always going to be one of the top teams, but those Jazz teams could get to the title game, the NBA Finals, yet they can't win the big one. Now, I understand number 23 was playing for the Bulls, and he hurt a lot of teams. But it feels similar because James Franklin is a great regular season guy, a guy that can get them into the college football playoffs, but you already know it ends with a loss and never a title.
My question is, though, after the first loss, why did they stay in the top 10?
Well, it was against Oregon.
I know, but still,
you
got to look at a team's history. And you got some teams that I think, a lot of teams actually, that you could put over Penn State, even after the first loss. So I know it was Oregon, and I'm a big Oregon fan, but when you look at the history of Penn State, that first loss to me was monumental because it actually showed where they were headed again this year. And then you top it off with a loss against the UCLA Bruins. I'm sure the fans are going to start making a little noise. The rumblings are already happening in Penn State.
Ohio, not Ohio, but Penn State is asking the student section, everybody, when is enough with James Franklin? And to be honest, I'm not going to be surprised when we get the rankings out later today. Would you be surprised if Penn State is out of the top 25?
Ooh, boy. After this loss, I wouldn't be surprised because you got a lot of teams that have been playing well this year.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them have been flying under the radar. I wouldn't be surprised, and I have to say this to you, Nittany Lion fans. Bill Belichick.
No, you can't be throwing that name. My Tar Heels, Derek, are loving the Bill Belichick era so much that they've actually made it to a quarter and a half of the game before leaving the stands because of yesterday's Clemson game. But I think Bill's more towards NFL gear. I think he's using this Carolina platform to kind of just keep, the coaching mind going, the engine rolling. But you know what's not rolling, Derek, is those beautiful I-35 guys at the Texas Longhorns. The University of Texas goes down to an unranked Florida team, 29-21 in the swamp. All the questions are surrounding Arch Manning. Well, Arch is good. He's good. You can't blame Arch because the offensive line is terrible. Well, we've seen Arch behind a good offensive line, and he hasn't looked very impressive in that sense. And then it comes back to, well, is Steve Sarkeesian is he good for Texas? Honestly, the answer has always been no for me. I never liked the Sark hiring. I still don't believe in it. I think this is the reason why it's coming out now that more, hey, should we replace Sark? We're going to get into replacements here in a little bit. But your thoughts on Texas, Florida, because I understand there's no offensive line, but you're a Manning. You should be able to be a little bit better than what we're seeing.
I watched them with the game with a couple of friends yesterday. Yeah. And so we were talking about Texas. I think the expectations may be a little too high. As you know, I've never been really high on Steve Sarkeesian.
Yeah.
Even before he got to Texas, I wasn't really a fan. And then you look at them yesterday, they look like a team that really has some problems. Maybe some of the Longhorn fans are happy that they made it a game at the end. But remember the guy, it was an interception in the end zone, and then they went and looked at the video, and he dropped the ball, right? Yeah. So right before the play, as they started to play, they hiked the ball. I'm telling my friends, I'm waiting on that interception. And my friends were Texas Longhorn fans. And I said, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but interceptions going to come. They're not going to come back and win the game. Yeah. And then Arch throws the ball into the end zone, which should have been an interception.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You mentioned James Franklin. What about Steve Sarkeesian? I mean, how long is his leash in Texas?
What seat is hotter, Franklin's or Sark's?
For me, the hotter, I would say, the expectations, I think, are higher in Texas.
Yeah.
And, when you're talking about a school with the money that Texas has and generates, I would say for me it would be definitely Texas. And I don't know who's out there right now. There are some great young coaches that are around that are on the scene. But for me, I would say, and that's saying a lot because Penn State, is another very heralded school. But I'm going to say the expectations for Texas is hotter at Longhorns.
I think both seats are hot. And before we get to a little bit more on who's on the hot seat with Franklin and Sarkeesian over at Texas, want to give, a quick shout out to Salem Surround out here. For y'all looking out there, go to Salem Surround, contact them today. They're going to it's right there on the ticker, brought to you by Salem Surround. It's a premier digital marketing agency. Contact them today. They're offering a wide array of services for you guys out there. Take advantage of it today. Why? Because if you want your business, if you want yourself to grow, Salem Surrounds is the perfect place to get started with. Contact them today. Salem Surrounds, sponsoring the Sports Answer here. That is Salem Surrounds. And you know what, Derek? You've got to surround your team with a good coach. And maybe Sark isn't the right coach at Texas. Maybe Franklin isn't the right coach at Penn State. But one coach who keeps getting mentioned outside of DJ Klein from Texas State, go Bearcats. I'm sorry, Derek, go Bearcats. But there is a coach locally that we keep bringing up.
I know where you're going.
And that is one, Jeff Traylor at UTSA. Now, you've seen him turn the program around. You saw him with the success he had when he came to the UTSA. Obviously, their record has not shown or reflected what he's done in the past. Obviously, the players aren't coming here, NIL money, this and that. If Sark goes, you and I and other guys that we've talked to on other shows have said, Jeff Traylor is the perfect person, the only hire for Texas because of his recruiting in Texas and local and surrounding areas. Is he the perfect fit to surround the Longhorns and get them back on? Because let's be honest, Texas is still a ranked top 25 team. But we all look at Sark the way we look at Franklin. You're not going to win the big one. Are we going to be mediocre, or do we want to take that next step?
Man, that's for me. Some people might think I'm biased because I'm a UTSA guy, but if you're talking about really, I have so much respect for Jeff Traylor, and I believe he would do well in Texas. I think it would be the perfect timing. I think he's been waiting for that right offer. We know he said he decided not to leave, and you and I had this conversation before when I mentioned possibly replacing Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
But if you look at it now, I think the timing would be right. I know they're going to let Coach finish out the season, Coach Sarkeesian. But if you're talking about a team, a player, a coach that can turn around a program instantly, I think it's Jeff Traylor. And it's not just his coaching. It's just the other elements that he brings to the team. The guys love him, and they'll go through a wall for him. And when you have a coach like that, I mean, I couldn't think of a better hire in the country.
Yeah,
Jeff Traylor, I'm giving a shout out, Coach, because I hate to see you leave UTSA. I have to thank you for what you already done. Miss Coach Coker started it, and you're continuing it, and you're growing the fan base. The team is continuing to get better. The recruits are getting better. I would hate to lose him, but if it was to the Texas Longhorns, I wouldn't be upset at all, and I think he's earned that. I really do. I think he's earned that right to have at least an opportunity.
You know, on that note there, we're going to go to commercial because I got to get the tissues. You're making me teary-eyed, Derek. I don't want to see Traylor leave, but you are right. It is the perfect opportunity if that job opens up. Jeff Traylor is at the top of a lot of teams' lists. So could this be the last year? We'll find out. Hey, on the way back, Derek, Spurs had a scrimmage. We're going to get into that. And then NFL. Oh, my God, it's kicking off. It already kicked off. We're going to get our NFL picks and do a little bit of NFL talk here on the Sports Answer with Derek Garvin, Rudy Campos. Hey, it's Salem Surrounds. We'll be back here in just a little bit.
In San Antonio, your business deserves more than noise. It deserves to be seen. SEO, social media, digital ads. If you're not showing up, you're losing customers. At Salem Surrounds San Antonio, we design digital strategies that work, from web design and SEO to social, podcast, and display ads. Real tools. Real results. Let's amplify your brand. Start today with a free digital presence evaluation. Salem Surrounds San Antonio, your brand, everywhere it matters.
This is the Sports Answer 210 Sports Report. In local high school football this weekend, there were no upsets for MaxPreps.com's top 20 teams. As number one ranked Steel easily handled East Central 49-0. The Brennan Bears demolished O'Connor 67-7. Number 6 Johnson took care of Roosevelt 48-13, as well as number 10 Reagan and number 11 Alamo Heights both won their respective games. You want to look ahead to week 7 of the high school football local scene in San Antonio? Seguin takes on Piper. That's 24 against number 12. Reagan takes on Johnson. Judson battles number 1 Steel. New Braunfels against Bernie champion. But the Sports Answer game of the week is going to be number 11 Alamo Heights going up against the unranked, but yet still perfect on the season at 6-0 Victoria West. Be sure to check that game out for the week 7 game of the week of the Sports Answer. Also, UTSA fell to the Temple Owls 27-21. Owen McCown finished with 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, but did throw 2 interceptions. Newly named Heisman candidate Robert Henry only managed 42 yards on the ground as Temple controlled the line of scrimmage and they shut down UTSA's rushing game. The Roadrunners fell to 2-3 on the year, 0-1 in the American Conference. Homecoming is next week in the Dome as the Rice Owls come to town. Can UTSA get a victory on homecoming night? And last but not least, your San Antonio Spurs are back in action. They had the silver and black scrimmage. Victor Wembanyama had 12 points and looked very impressive as he bulked up in the offseason. Stephon Castle did leave the court, head back to the locker room with an apparent knee injury, but all is well, is good with Stephon Castle, as team management did come out and say everything is just fine. This has been your Sports Answer 210 Sports Report here on Sports Answer Now. And that was the 210 Sports Report. Hey, you know what? It's going to be dropping every now and then on the show, so you can get the 210, the local sports scene, sports report every single week here on the Sports Answer on the Answer Now TV. Be sure to go to the Answer Now TV on YouTube, search it, subscribe to it so you don't ever miss a show with myself and UTSA Hall of Famer Derek Garvin. Hey, we're going to give a quick shout out to Salem Surround. Now, the Sports Answer is brought to you by Salem Surround. Salem Surround is proud to be the San Antonio's premier digital marketing agency, offering a wide array of services like digital, audio, email marketing, online reputation management, SEO, social marketing, and more. Visit salemsurround.com/San Antonio today. That way, you know what? You want to grow the brand? That's Salem Surround. Sponsors of the Sports Answer here on Answer Now TV. They've got questions, Derek. They've got tons of questions. Because why? You smell that, right? It smells like basketball. The basketball season is picking up. NBA is picking up. WNBA sees the Aces and the Mercury in the WNBA finals now. But with Spurs basketball here, the scrimmage was last night. Victor had 12 points. Stephon Castle kind of had a little scare, a little bit of a knee issue. I think he banged knees with Victor, but he went to the locker room. Everything's okay so far. Looked good last night. Victor bulked up. I think he kind of did what I did. I gained 30 pounds. He gained about 30 pounds. So him and I are eating the same kind of stuff here. What are your thoughts going into the season? Because I recently talked to friend of the show, Jeff Garcia, and he asked me, what is the ceiling for the Spurs? My thought was, hey, they're not championship team. Let's just cut it out right now. They're not going to win the title, but I have them at a high 5th or 6th on the ceiling, which puts them in the playoffs. But my expectation is playing at best. Thoughts on the Spurs season and their ceiling?
Wow. Well, first of all, we're dealing with a tough Western Conference.
Very tough.
And I don't know, man. I look at their roster. If you look at it, go from 1 to 12 or 15 today or 16, whatever, you go all the way down their roster, they have a very good roster. It's how you put it together. There's still going to be some questions about Mitch Johnson.
Yeah.
But when you look at guys that they brought in, I mean, you got Dylan Harper, of course, and you got Carter Bryant, and then you bring in Kelly Olynyk, and you bring in Luke Cornett. To me, that's a great start. That's not a good start. That's a great start. And I think there's going to be a team they're going to have some ups and downs, of course, over the course of a 82-game season. But I can see them sneaking into that 6th or 7th seed. I know the 7th puts you in the play-in. Yeah. But I could even see them, possibly sneaking into that 6th position, because we still don't know what's going to happen with the Lakers. Luka with his transformation. And then you got LeBron playing in year 22. You look at teams like the Pelicans, we still don't know how they're going to work out with Zion and Jordan Poole and those guys. Yeah. So if you look at it, there's going to be a lot of questions. And that's when teams like the Spurs can make moves. So it doesn't come down to who stays healthy over the course of the year. But when you have a Victor Wembanyama, to me, that raises expectations. I think I could see them end up in a 6th seed. And I'm excited about it. Let's go Spurs.
So I'm going to be real, man. When talking to Jeff, I got a lot of comments. And I left a comment. Actually, I left a take on there. I said, I want your listeners to understand this. I really feel they're not done making any moves. There's 2 guys that I really think, and I'm going to throw Lauri Markkanen in there because I think he's always been tied, but 2 guys to watch. Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's going to be tied to San Antonio forever. But I think if they get off to a very slow start, the Bucks may want to move because why? They've got Miles Turner, so they figured they could maybe build around Miles and get a huge amount in return for Giannis. But the one guy I mentioned that Spurs fans hated, and I'm going to give you a few seconds to talk on this, I said watch for Austin Reeves. If he is not happy in LA, he's going to want to be moved. So the Spurs are also linked to Austin Reeves. I said Austin Reeves would make beautiful sense for the San Antonio Spurs. Fans are saying, why are you bringing up Austin Reeves? He's another guard. He makes no sense for San Antonio. Can you prove me right or wrong?
Wow, they're loaded in the backcourt right now. From Fox on down. I mean, you still got Blake Wesley as well on your roster. So, they
actually no.
He's gone now? Okay, so Blake's gone.
Yeah.
So but I still say they have to make some moves. I don't see us getting Giannis this year. But for the future, I mean, next year or whatever, I can see that. But I don't know. Right now, you look at their roster, Rudy, I think there's still, you got to get to Keldon Johnson.
Yeah.
Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan. To me, those are still question marks with the current team as we move forward. And so they still have some moves, I'll say, to make, but maybe before the trade deadline. But if you look at it right now, Austin Reeves fits any team in the NBA, man. I mean, come on. He's continuing to grow. He's actually, to me, I thought he was kind of a star. So you look at the Lakers right now, isn't it Luka and then Austin Reeves possibly?
It should be, but if LeBron keeps taking the limelight and they don't move on from LeBron like I've told you they should, I think Austin wants to be gone.
Well, this is the reason I say that Austin, I could see him in L.A. still, because what happened when LeBron tried to renegotiate?
It all went downhill.
So that tells me they believe in Austin Reeves.
There you go. You're proving me wrong.
Yeah.
And that's great. I love that because it makes me feel even better when I told you LeBron James won't make it through the season for LA. He's going to be traded. He's going to be gone. He's not going to want to stay in LA. Why? Because unlike the spotlight that's shining on you and I right now, it's not shining on LeBron in LA no more. So
wait, let me say this quickly. A couple more 1 for 12s from Bronny. And they're gonna be leaving as a package deal. I know it's still early, but come on, Bronny. Let's go, my man. We have the expectations have risen for you this year, and a 1 for 12 start, and I believe what he missed is 1 for 8 from 3.
Yeah.
So he's got to do better. And LeBron, man, just let the guys play and be themselves this year. I know you look frustrated with DeAndre Ayton with the quadruple single, 1 point, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 block or whatever. But
that's a stat stuffer, Derek. And any way you look at it, you're putting up stats you're putting up a number in every stat. That's what they look at. I told you DeAndre Ayton's going to be bad for that team. That was a horrible, horrible move.
Not a good start. I will say that.
Yeah, the one thing we've got to get going here because we're coming towards it's weird. It's already going to be 30 minutes, and it's crazy that it's already going to be 30 minutes. Before we get into our NFL picks, Derek, and we go over these games here, we got to give another shout out to Salem Surround, sponsors of the Sports Answer on the Answer Now TV. Contact Salem Surround today because you know what? We want to grow. Everybody wants to grow. We're all going to grow together with Salem Surround. Contact them today, salemsurround.com/San Antonio. It's NFL time there. It's week 5 on the NFL schedule. We had LA, we had San Francisco. Oh, those Niners tore my heart out this past Thursday, but it happens. This morning, Browns and Vikings are playing. We're not going to go with that route here, but we are going to pick the rest of the games here. We got a few minutes. Let's break them down. Texans and Ravens. No Lamar. So that's already a knock on the Ravens. Who do you have, Texans and Baltimore here?
Well, the Ravens being 1-3, and you take Lamar out. So a lot of people are automatically going to go with the Texans. I'm going to go the other direction, and this is why. Derrick Henry time. So far, Derrick has not run over 18 times in one game. Mm-hmm. And I think they've kind of gotten away from that. So now without Lamar, they have to go back to the running game. I'm going to pick the Ravens because this is a do-or-die game for them.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go Ravens.
We love our college football. We love all of our college football analysts. But in our good friend Lee Corso, I'm going to say not so fast, my friend. I've got the Texans over the Ravens. And, yes, Lamar hurts. But when I look at Derrick Henry, we're not looking at the old Derrick Henry. He's fumbled more times than I can ever imagine. As it is right now in the United States, the best Derrick is sitting right next to me. Derrick Henry is second best now. Give me the Texans to go get to 2-3 at the end of the day. I think the Baltimore Ravens kind of go down. I guess we're a year late because I said Baltimore would be a bottom feeder team in that division. I think they go to 1-4 at the end of the day. The battle of the greatest teams in all of the NFL, Dolphins and Panthers.
Right now, I'm going to go Panthers. First of all, shout out to Tyreek Hill, wishing you well on your recovery.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to go with the Panthers. How about those Panthers?
I am not arguing with you on that. Panthers are mine altogether. Raiders and Colts, Derek.
Well, I like the city of Las Vegas, but I'm going to go with the Colts. I think I believe in these guys, man. I think Daniel Jones, has surprised some people already. I'm going to go with the Colts.
Give me the Colts. Daniel Jones is Coach Gio's friend of the show here. His most improved player. I think the Colts get this win. Giants and Saints. Did the Saints get the win?
Sadly, I'm going to say no. I'm
continues.
I'm going to go with the Giants. I think last week they surprised some people. I'm going to go Giants.
Even though you're missing Malik Neighbors, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatteraboo, the rookies are taking over. I like me some Spencer Rattler. I was going to take the Saints, but give me the Giants this week. Those Cowboys and those Jets, I'm not even going to make people wait. I'm not a Cowboy hater. I'm going to go with the Jets, though. I just think the Cowboys are a disarray still. Give me the Jets.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I think they have enough weapons even without CeeDee Lamb. You got Dak Prescott. You got George Pickens had a pretty good game last week. I'm going to go Cowboys.
Broncos and Eagles, you think that the wheels are going to fall off Philadelphia? I'm going to say yeah. Give me the Broncos in an upset over Philadelphia this week.
Well, you got Sean Payton for another year. And, man, I'm going to go with the Eagles this year. I say they go this week. I say they go to 5-0.
5-0 for the Eagles. Titans and Cardinals, I think this is a no-brainer for me. It's going to be the Cardinals. Cam Ward just needs a lot of help. They're still a long ways away. Give me the Cardinals.
Cam is finding out the difference between college and NFL, and I'll give a shout out to Cam because of his incarnate word ties.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to go the other direction and say that they lose today.
So it's fitting, right? The incarnate word Cardinals, he's going up against the Cardinals. He doesn't want to have a win over a Cardinals team, knowing he played for a Cardinals team back in the day. Bucks in Seattle, Derek. Who do you got?
Yeah, well, I think that's a tough one. For me, that might be the toughest one of the day. Wow, Baker, let me see here. I'm going to go Seattle because I told you I really believe in Seattle. I think Sam Darnold gets it done. I'm going to go to Seattle Seahawks.
Baker. Can you hear me? I circled the Buccaneers, but then I started to think, Bucky Irving is out. Mike Evans is out. I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going to jump on the Derek Garvin train. I believe in Seattle this week. Your Detroit Lions, those Cincinnati Bengals. What do you got?
They're going to be the Bungles this week. I take the Detroit Lions to go 4-1, 4 in a row.
Well, you know what? The Detroit Lions easily over the Bengals. Carson Palmer's not walking through that door. Boomer Esiason. There is no icky shuffle this week. Give me the Detroit Lions, those Commanders and those Chargers, Derek.
I'm going to have to go Chargers. I'm a big Justin Herbert fan. I'm going to go Chargers. I hate to go against the Commanders. I think they're going to get better as the season progresses, but I'm going with the Chargers.
I got Chargers. We got about a minute left, Derek. We got Patriots and Bills.
Buffalo moves on, wins another one.
This is always a tough game. Give me the Buffalo Bills. I think they're on a mission this year. Last game, Monday Night Football, Chiefs and Jaguars.
Wow. Jaguars are playing really good football, but I don't know if they're ready to deal with Patrick Mahomes yet. I think Patrick pulls it out. I'm going to go with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs.
I think you mentioned earlier Jacksonville's a team to watch and a team on the rise, but I think that Mahomes magic, they always start off – they've been starting off slow. I think they're going to kick it into high gear. Give me the Chiefs this week. And you know what? While we got our picks in, there's only one pick for you guys out there. That is Salem Surround, proud sponsors of the Sports Answer here on the Answer Now TV on YouTube. Salem Surround is proud to be San Antonio's premier digital marketing agency, offering a wide array of services like digital audio, email marketing, online reputation management, SEO, spelled it right, social marketing, and more. You know what? Visit salemsurround.com. San Antonio today to get started with Salem Surround. Hey, Derek, week 1 for us is done. We're going to be back multiple weeks here on the Sports Answer. They ask the sports questions. We got the sports answers for everybody listening out there. Drop your comments. You have sports questions, drop them for myself, for Derek. It's guaranteed to be the right answer, the only answer. It is the sports answer here on the Answer Now TV. We'll see you guys.
You've been listening to The Sports Answer with Rudy Campos Jr. Today's show was brought to you by Salem Surround San Antonio, helping local businesses grow with digital strategies that work. Visit salemsurround.com/San Antonio to learn more. We'll see you next time on The Sports Answer.